Hello and welcome. I'm Carol DeChaine, your transformational life coach, intuitive reader, and energy light worker. Today, I'm going to talk about alone versus lonely. So many of us are, well, when you're alone, you just aren't with other people, right? But if you get lonely, that means so much difference from being alone. I've been so happy being alone because I enjoy my own company. I don't mind being there, but other people, the minute they're alone, they they aren't happy in their own company. They need to have someone, so they get really lonely. And as human beings, we aren't necessarily meant to be alone. We are social critters. We aren't necessarily pack animals, but we do feel more comfortable generally with someone around, at least sometimes. You don't want to be a hermit. Most people aren't good at being hermits. They need something, someone. And even if you're good at being alone, you may get that wish and that need to be with someone. It's so hard when you're feeling despair or discouragement because you're looking for a significant other in your life or even just a close friend that you can talk to. And you don't have anybody. That's when those alone feels starts happening. The loneliness starts seeping in. Instead of just I'm alone, it's like, oh, I'm alone, which means I'm lonely. We may not realize the difference. So when you look at the times you're alone, how do you feel? Do you feel I'm good? It's not a problem. I enjoy what I'm doing, and then sometimes I need to go to be with people. And it's not that you're lonely in that moment. And lonely isn't a bad thing. It just means that sometimes you need more. You need that connection that you're not feeling. And especially around the holidays, being lonely is huge. It leads to depression, it leads to sadness, it leads to anxiety and stress and all sorts of things. It's hard on your body, it's hard on your emotions, your mind. So when you get to the holidays and you have a family, you don't notice necessarily or know what other people go through if you have someone all the time. It can be really stressful. And I always appreciated after my parents passed and I didn't have a significant other that I had some friends who had orphan Thanksgivings and orphan Christmases, which is what they called it, so that they would gather people at their house so you wouldn't be alone on that day. And that was so important at that time in my life to have that because I did feel alone. And sometimes, like I said, feeling alone is fine. I was okay. But that loneliness, I didn't realize was there on those particular days. And I know how much it can eat at people, how hard it is to get through them because everyone else is happy and you're on your own, you're by yourself. So help someone out if you know maybe that they're alone. Ask them to join your family if you're willing because so many times we just need that extra hand when we're lonely to help us through especially hard times. Maybe a birthday, maybe you could take someone out for a drink. You can visit them on Zoom, or whatever you need to do to make them feel more loved, less alone in that sad, kind of lonely sort of way. Because when we feel alone versus being alone, feeling alone is kind of in that lonely thing, that category of, oh, I feel so alone. You can feel that way in a crowd too. So if you do that and you think you're the only person who feels alone like that, you're not that. It's not true. So many people, including me, can be in a crowd of people I don't know, and I'll feel really alone, separate and apart from them because I don't feel the connection. It can be a group of people that I know but I don't feel close to. It can even be on a committee that I'm on that I know the people, but I don't feel that close to them. I don't feel that connection. So I feel like I'm alone in a group. And if you have that, just realize it's okay. But if you take the time to make a connection with one or two different people, that at least then you feel like you're more in the group or part of the group, that's something else as well that you can do for yourself to reach out, to find new people that will be there. Maybe even people that you don't think would be friends. I remember when I first got into energy work, I wanted to talk about it. And I thought, oh, well, I can't really talk about it at work because people wouldn't understand. And so, and plus it's work. So I probably shouldn't talk about it. But I want to. I'm dying to talk about this to somebody besides just a couple of friends I had mentioned it to. So I was, walking along one day and I just off the cuff kind of mentioned it to somebody who didn't work directly with me, but she's on the same floor that I'm on. And she brightened up and said, "Oh my God, I love that stuff." And then we started talking. We ended up going out to lunch and we've become really good friends. It was just because I wanted to reach out, just even a tiny bit, and say something to somebody to try and be friends. I knew I liked her, but I didn't realize she was going to react like that. And it was so satisfying because we've talked about a million things since then. But that was the starting point. So if you want a friend or somebody you can connect with, think about what you want to connect with somebody on. Mention it just slightly to somebody, even if you don't think they would be interested, just as something you mention in a conversation. And if you may find that people that you come out of the woodwork to talk to you so that you don't feel so alone. You don't feel lonely because all of a sudden you have somebody that says, "Oh, I love that." And you're going, "What? I'd love to do that with you. Let's go hang out. Let's go," whatever it may be. And you might go, "Really? Oh, yeah." Don't say no if you want to have more friends, if you want to get away from that feeling loneliness. If you feel alone with them, then find what it is that holds you back from being willing to embrace another person. It could just be fear of abandonment, fear of somebody betraying you. It could be something from your past because those sorts of things come up and you carry them with you. That little baggage they talk about is for a reason. We do carry them with us. So look at that and see what it is so that you can take those steps away from that aloneness and that loneliness. That is something you can help yourself through. You can find why you feel lonely, what you need to fill that hole that you're feeling. Just what loneliness is. Feels like you're in a big hole. There's you don't know how to fill it necessarily. But look at that. If you need to go to a therapist or a life coach to help you, by all means do that if you feel it all the time. There's something underneath it if you feel it all the time, something deep, something you can shift because you're enough. You're enough to be a friend. You're enough to be loved. You just need to, if those are the things holding you back, you need to believe it yourself because only you can help you be less lonely. Only you can allow yourself to feel less alone in the crowd. It's up to you. You're already enough. You just have to realize it yourself. If you don't know what it is, then like I said, there are many people out there who can help you get through it, to help you realize it so that you can have the kind of life that you want, that works for you. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Carol DeChaine. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the bell notification and you'll find out the next time that I have a video out. Once a week, I send out the Joy Corner, which is an I am affirmation, and there's probably almost 100 out at this point that you can, if you don't like one, you go back and find a different one that works for you. Just do a search on my website, and I'm sure you'll find it. On the YouTube channel. And there's also about 50, maybe more than that, guided meditations and visualizations. If you search for those, that'll help you work more into your subconscious. That'll help you shift and change some of those limiting beliefs that really are holding you back in your lifetime from having what you want and being who you want to be. If you'd like to work with me, please check out my website at www.connect2joy.com, which will be below this video. And there you'll find information on transformational life coaching, certain packages, which I'm happy and usually do craft one for depending on what you're looking for the length of time, whether we use energy work, because there's also information on Marconic multidimensional energy for your being, your body, your spirit, your emotions, all the different areas of your beingness, and energy space clearing for your home and your business as well if you want more success there. And if you would like to work with intuitive readings. I had mentioned those a little earlier to help you get through whatever log jams you're having that you want to know why it's happening, or you want are making a decision and you want to know what you're facing in either direction. By all means, give me an email and we'll talk about what I can do for you and how I can be of assistance. Until next time, please remember you only need to be alone if you want to be. You don't need to have the loneliness. You have the power to shift beyond that because you are already enough.